A woman's strength is woven from the threads of love. Love is not merely a concept, nor is it just an emotion. It is the very fabric of her being, the unseen power that propels her through life's most difficult moments. It is love that shapes her identity, her actions, and her purpose. If we look at the essence of who she is, we find that at the core of her strength lies love. Love for her family, for the world around her, and, perhaps most importantly, love for herself. In the same way, seeds sprout and plant the seeds for growth, duration, and expansion. What is it about love that creates such a profound foundation? Love is the great motivator. It compels her to give her best, to act selflessly, and to endure the hardest trials. Love for her children, her loved ones, or even for her own vision keeps her pushing forward when everything else seems to be falling apart. Love is not a passive, fleeting feeling. It is an active force that demands attention, action, and sacrifice. It requires her to give of herself, to stretch beyond what she thought possible, and to find within herself a strength she may not have even known existed. But love is not always easy. It doesn't always come in a shiny package wrapped in a bow. Sometimes it feels like a heavy burden, especially when it is unreturned or when it's misunderstood. But it is in those very moments that a woman's strength is tested and revealed. When love challenges her, when she pours herself into relationships, into family, into her work, and receives little in return, it can seem as if her efforts are wasted. Yet this is the paradox. The more she gives, the stronger she becomes, not because of what she receives, but because of what she is willing to sacrifice. In that sacrifice, there's power. In that endurance, there's greatness. Love is transformative. It takes the mundane, the ordinary, and elevates it to the extraordinary. A woman's love turns ordinary moments into extraordinary acts of care. Whether it's a mother waking up at the crack of dawn to care for her child, or a professional tirelessly working to achieve a goal, love transforms the work into something meaningful. It's not the work itself that gives life its significance, but the love behind it that infuses purpose into everything she does. The small gestures, the quiet acts of kindness, the patience in moments of frustration. These are the moments where a woman's strength is most evident. Consider for a moment the power of self-love. In a world that constantly demands more from women, more strength, more sacrifice, more perfection, self-love can often be the most challenging. Yet it is in learning to love herself that a woman begins to unlock her true potential. Without self-love, all the love she gives to others will eventually become depleting, leaving her drained and empty. But when she takes the time to nurture herself, to recognize her own worth, her strength expands. It is only from a place of self-love that she can give freely, without resentment or regret. Self-love doesn't mean arrogance or selfishness. Rather, it is the quiet, powerful understanding that she is worthy of respect, of care, of peace. It is the knowledge that without her own well-being, she cannot fully be there for others. This understanding is a form of strength that so many women overlook. When they are constantly giving to others, they forget that their own health, emotional, physical, and mental, must come first. A woman who loves herself deeply is a woman who can love others fully, without depletion. True love, whether for others or for oneself, is built on a foundation of courage. It requires the courage to be vulnerable, to open one's heart fully, even knowing that there is the potential for pain. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, yet in reality, it is one of the strongest things a woman can do. It takes immense courage to love deeply, to trust when trust has been broken, to continue to believe in the goodness of the world despite the chaos. A woman's strength lies in her ability to remain open, to remain tender, even in the face of heartbreak. She knows that love is not a guarantee of happiness, but it is a choice that must be made every day. Love is not a feeling, it is a choice, someone once said. This is the truth a woman learns over time. Love is not always easy, nor is it always returned in the way we wish. It does not always come wrapped in the neat package we expect. But love, true love, is a commitment. It is a choice to stand by someone, to give, to support, even when it's not reciprocated in the way we hope. And yet, it is this choice that brings strength. In choosing love, a woman strengthens her heart, her spirit, and her resolve. Every woman, in her own way, must face the trials of life, the painful moments that make her question everything, the days where the weight of the world seems too much to carry. It is in these moments that love becomes the anchor. Love doesn't mean she won't experience pain. It doesn't mean she won't face heartache. But it does mean that through the pain, there will be a source of strength that will carry her forward. Love will be the thread that holds her together when she feels like breaking. It will be the reason she rises day after day to face the world, no matter the obstacles in her path. As a woman walks through the world, she is constantly building the strength that will carry her through life. Every act of love, whether it's a small gesture, a silent prayer, or a moment of kindness, adds to the strength within her. Love is not an abstract concept. It is not a fairy tale. It is real, raw, and at times painful. But it is in the doing, in the giving, in the showing of love that a woman becomes who she is meant to be. A woman's strength is not defined by her ability to conquer the world. It is defined by her ability to love the world despite its flaws. It is the ability to choose to love, even when the world seems unworthy. It is the quiet strength that comes from knowing that love, even in its most imperfect form, will always be the force that pushes her forward. For it is love that is the greatest thread in the tapestry of her strength, woven through her days, her trials, and her victories, making her who she is and who she was always meant to become. There is a fundamental truth that we must come to terms with. Pain and growth are inseparable. If we are to become the individuals we were meant to be, we must first encounter the fire that will forge us. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort of soft, easy circumstances. It's born in the harshest conditions, when we are faced with challenges that seem impossible to overcome, when the weight of the world seems unbearable. It is in these moments when we feel broken that we are being shaped into something stronger, something greater than we ever thought possible. The pain that every woman encounters, whether it's the loss of a loved one, the struggle of motherhood, the disappointment of unfulfilled dreams, or the crushing weight of failure, is not merely something to endure. It is a gift, though it may not seem like one at first. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We've heard it said many times, but that statement misses a crucial point. It is not the pain alone that strengthens us. It is how we respond to it. My parents, it is how we choose to face it. It is how we use that pain as fuel to grow into the person we were meant to become. And that requires immense courage. Every woman, regardless of her circumstances, faces pain, but it is not the pain that defines her. It is her response to it. Pain has a way of showing us who we really are. It strips away the facade, the false notions of who we think we are, and forces us to reckon with our most authentic selves. It challenges us to dig deeper, to reach beyond our perceived limitations, and to confront our deepest fears. It demands that we rise again and again until we emerge from the storm stronger, wiser, and more resilient than we ever imagined. There is a common misconception that strength is about never breaking, that if we are strong, we must be unyielding, impervious to hardship. But strength is not about avoiding the storm. It is about how we weather it. The true measure of strength lies in our ability to bend without breaking, to endure without surrendering. It is the quiet resilience to keep going even when every part of us wants to give up. And it is in that resilience that growth occurs. The world breaks everyone, as Hemingway famously said, and afterward, some are strong at the broken places. The fractures in our lives, the painful moments, are the very places where our greatest strength is formed. There is an undeniable truth that we must face if we are to grow. Pain is inevitable. We cannot avoid it, nor can we escape it. It will come in many forms at different times. But what we can control is how we choose to respond. We can choose to allow it to define us in ways that cripple us, or we can choose to allow it to shape us into something new, something stronger. And the beauty of this choice is that it is within our power. We are not passive victims of our circumstances. We are active participants in our own transformation. When a woman faces pain, she has the opportunity to either become bitter or better. And while bitterness may seem like the easier route, after all, it's tempting to hold on to resentment, to let the pain fester inside her. It is growth that ultimately frees her. Growth demands that she rise above the bitterness, that she find the lesson hidden within the suffering. Growth is the process of learning to let go, to forgive, to heal, and to move forward. If you want to fly, you have to give up the things that weigh you down, the saying goes. And so she must let go of the pain that once held her captive, and in doing so, she finds the strength to soar. It's crucial to recognize that growth doesn't always come in grand, sweeping moments. It doesn't always come in a dramatic transformation. More often than not, growth happens in the quiet moments, in the small decisions we make every day to continue moving forward. It happens when we choose to get up after a setback, when we decide that we are not defined by our failures, but by how we rise from them. Growth happens in the day-to-day grind, in the moments when no one is watching, when the only person we are accountable to is ourselves. The road to growth is not easy, and it is not without its difficulties. But it is also the most rewarding journey we can take. In every moment of pain, there is the potential for transformation. There is the possibility to become more than we were before. And it is through this process of transformation that we find our true strength. We grow not because we avoid pain, but because we choose to use it as a stepping stone, as a catalyst for our evolution. Growth is not something that happens to us. It is something we actively create through our choices, our actions, and our willingness to confront life head on, regardless of the obstacles that may stand in our way. There is a beauty in the struggle, a power that comes from overcoming the very things that were meant to hold us down. Each challenge, each hardship is an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to reshape our identity, and to discover the depth of our strength. A woman who has faced pain and emerged stronger is a force to be reckoned with. She is someone who understands the depths of her own power, someone who knows that nothing, not even pain, can break her unless she allows it. It is important to understand that growth does not always come in the way we expect. Sometimes we envision growth as a smooth upward trajectory, an easy climb toward success. But the reality is that growth often comes in waves, with moments of regression, doubt, and uncertainty. It's a process that requires patience, self-compassion, and perseverance. It is a lifelong journey that unfolds in its own time, and sometimes the greatest growth happens in the moments we least expect it. And so, woman's strength is built on her ability to endure, to grow, and to transform. It is not built on the absence of pain, but on the courage to face it and the wisdom to learn from it. She is not defined by her suffering, but by her response to it. Her strength is found in her ability to rise time and time again from the ashes of adversity. Pain in its many forms will come, but it is how she chooses to face it that will determine the course of her life. The greater the pain, the greater the potential for growth. And in that growth, she finds the strength to become the woman she was always meant to be.